So guys, it's David here and it is currently day 404. I hope you guys are doing well and like always are doing better than yesterday. Now recently I had set myself this goal. I threw down this challenge for myself to achieve, to test myself, to really push myself outside of my comfort zone, because we are so easily to stay complacent because being human, we don't want to do something difficult. So although you could have the best habits, the best routines, if you don't throw yourself down with a challenge, with a goal, with something to achieve, then you are going to remain the same. This counts for no matter how great of a habit you have, no matter how long you have resisted such temptation and instant gratification, because if you don't have a goal, you are going to stay the same. And most importantly, guys, without having something to aim for, your routine will solely rely on willpower, because your mind will be constantly bothered by thought, by distraction, by whatever it is you're trying to resist. And this is definitely not a great way to use such a valuable asset, and that is willpower. That is the will to say no to something in the moment of adversity. That is the only time I believe we should use our willpower. It is when we have nothing to hold back on, when our routine is aggravated, when we are just wandering around in this uncertain environment where we are perhaps shaken, we are perhaps not feeling well, right? Everything that is just off course. That is the only time and really the only real scenario where you should use your willpower. It is not to just waste your willpower as if it is an infinite resource, because this is one of the most draining energy you can have on your mind. So throwing down a challenge for myself, it is something I'm definitely looking forward to, because this brings my subconscious into the conscious present as to tell myself what I should be doing today. What I should be doing today by waking up and writing down my to-do list, by structuring a routine, and just having something to look forward to. And this month challenge is for me to learn React Native, right? It's a coding language to make applications for Android and iOS. Sounds pretty boring, I know, but it is definitely something I believe that I have to learn for me to learn the foundations of creating an app for my future vision, right? Because I already learned the basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right, for web development, and the basic fundamentals of pretty much coding from what I know. And learning this will definitely be another step towards my education, and most importantly, for me to gather the tools for me to create whatever I seek. Right? That is the most important thing. We can choose to learn something or not, right? We can choose to go to school or rather self-taught, but always learn something that it is going to benefit you in the future. If you have a vision, if you have a purpose, if you have this dream to accomplish, knowledge is the tool that will guide you to achieving something like that. Let me repeat that, guys. You cannot achieve your vision in life if you have no knowledge, right? That is real talk, guys. If you don't like to go into school, if you don't like to study, me too, guys. I totally don't like to go to school. I don't like to go and just spend my time in the classroom with, people I don't know, with the teacher just rambling on about some bad examples. I'd rather learn what it is necessary for me to learn that is relevant to achieving my goals, right? That is the way I choose to learn. And yes, that does require some discipline, that does require some will. But if your vision is real enough, if your somewhat purpose that you have been keep telling to yourself is really real, then you would make the sacrifice to do something great. You will make the sacrifice to sit at your home office and just wander around through endless paperwork, through endless online articles, through endless YouTube videos to just find the solution that works for you. And yes, This at the beginning is an ineffective way to learn because you feel like you are not doing anything, you are not learning anything, but this is just the uncomfortable period that all of us have to go through, right? We have to suck at something before we get good at it, before we start to feel like, oh, this may actually make sense. Like, oh, this might actually help me in the future. And it is through this consecutive and incessant learning period of not knowing what you are doing and also forgetting at the same time that you achieve a new skill set. And it is not until you have completed a few projects, completed a few articles, until you learn from failure, that you'll see that what you have put your time towards has started to pay off. But if you quit in the first week, if you quit in the first month, and for that matter, if you quit after a half a year, this does not mean what you are trying to do is not working, but you simply choose to give up. We all learn in different paces. That does not mean that you are dumber than the other person. Some people are just natural gifted learners, and some people take longer to understand the concept. But I do believe those people who are more slow at learning are also more careful at understanding the fundamentals. And those people who are slow at doing something, they will foresee something that the people who are 10 miles ahead haven't yet thought. And when it comes to a problem, guys, it all comes back to the fundamentals. So those people who have grasped the fundamentals will understand the problem and overcome them more quickly when the issue does arise. There's no wrong way to learn or succeed. There's no right way to fail or not. What is and what isn't is your choice to stay disciplined at your art. It's your choice to continue even though in the moments of uncertainty and ambiguity of whether what you are doing is really working or not. So throw yourself down with a challenge. A week, a fortnight, a month, do something like that, right? Look back at something you truly want to improve on. Maybe you have flaws. Maybe you want to create this application like me. Maybe you have this skill set you want to learn. Whatever it is, guys, throw yourself down with the challenge, right? Throw yourself down with the challenge. And I do recommend you guys do this if you have done enough detoxes, right? That means like if you have withheld yourself from watching pornography, that means if you had stopped yourself from mindlessly scrolling, because when you refresh your mind, when you give your mind a restart, you bring yourself back to balance. And when you bring yourself back to balance, it is more easy for you to stay consistent at something new because you're no longer tempted or in the moment tempted by your old behaviors. Now, this does not mean, guys, our last topic before I drag this on, this does not mean that you will not think about your old bad choices. This does not mean you won't think about that lady shaking her booty. This would not mean you won't stop thinking about what you watched last night or what you were scrolling on Instagram at, because you will still remember. You cannot forget about a memory. You cannot forget about your thoughts. You have to live with it. And the only way to forget about something in the moment is to understand that that was the past and I just have to let it go. Because if I don't let that past go, then by constant thinking about it, then I am going to bring my past into the present. And that, my friends, is how we relapse. That, my friends, is how you don't escape from the trap of your past. Is to constantly and incessantly thinking about something you don't want to think about. Stop fighting it and you just have to let it go.